All right, ladies and gentlemen, the Cleveland Browns just got awesome news. I mean, the whole NFL got it, but there's some teams that this helps exponentially more. And the Cleveland Browns are one of them. Hey, if you're new to this channel, we're not trying to hide it. We're Lions fans, but we love the NFL. We love teams like the Lions where the national media seems to ignore them for years on end. Cleveland Browns fans, we get each other. So we started this channel. We do a lot of Browns, a lot of Texans content, and these overlooked teams. And if you want a go-to source for Browns content, make it us, Sports Talk Extra. Like and subscribe. So let's talk about this great news that just popped up, and let's see what's going on. All right? The NFL just completely threw everybody for a loop. We all thought there's going to be a new salary cap. It was going to be a $15 million increase, and it turns out it was actually a $30.6 million increase. The single largest increase we have ever seen in a salary cap. The new salary cap is now $255.4 million. $255.4 million. The league said on Friday, taking a $30.6 million leap from the 2023 number. Why is this good news for the Cleveland Browns? As we've well documented since the Browns ended the regular season and ended in the playoffs, the Browns are in cap purgatory. They're not in a good spot. And what they needed was this extreme difference in salary cap to get their books in order. The Cleveland Browns went from being a team that was entering with almost $23 million in the hole in their salary cap, and really the only way to get out of it was to release or entirely restructure two of their best players, Nick Chubb and Amari Cooper. One of those is more palatable than the other. All right? One of those is more palatable than the other. They just didn't have contracts that were good for it. Next year they do. Next year they have some. Next year you can talk about Denzel Ward. Next year you can talk about Myles Garrett a little bit. Next year you can have some of those, the Wyatt Tellers, all right, the Joel Batonios. But this year, no, they don't have it. So when you look now at what happens, that estimated cap space went from what was negative $22.7 million, almost $23 million, to negative $7.7 million. Everybody take a sigh. Okay, so now the Browns can get under the cap, and they have to do it by the start of the league year. So the question we now have to face on this channel is two things. One, who are they going to let go? How are they going to get under the cap? Whose deal are they going to rework, or multiple deals? And do they actually have enough money left over to go spend and get something in free agency if they want, and where should they go and spend it? So we're going to talk about all that in this video. So first, let's look right here. You have your cap hits in gray. You have your dead cap to the left of it. The dead cap is the number that no matter what you do, if you cut a player, you need to pay that number. So, for example, with Deshaun Watson, this is the awful one. They owe him almost $64 million this year. If they cut him, they save that $64 million, but they have to pay him $201 million. Don't cut Deshaun Watson. All right? They'd have to forfeit their season. All right? He is going to be 20% of the cap for the foreseeable future. Amari Cooper, if they cut him, all right, post-June 1, the dead cap's less. Pre-June 1, it's more. All right, but they save $12 million. If they restructure him, they can mess around with something like that too. Nick Chubb, post-June 1, pre-June 1, $4 million is what their dead cap is. They get $11 million. So by simply letting go of Nick Chubb, and I know I hate it. I hate to be the one to say it. All right. Have you ever, if you're old enough, like me, I'm old enough to remember a TV show, just an awful TV show. It was so dumb, called Cheaters. And it was always this guy with this little mini camcorder, and he'd be like, I hate to be the one to tell you this, or I hate to be the one to show you this. And that's kind of how I feel anytime I talk about Nick Chubb, because it just sucks, right? What happened to him and the knee injury, and do I think he can come back? Yes. Does it look better than it was? Yes. Do you bring him back at $16 million coming off a severe knee injury? No. You got to let him go. And that means he's probably going to end up with the Texans or the Chargers or the Ravens or another team that needs a running back that is willing to pay him a little bit more, that has more salary cap. But if you let him go, now all of a sudden you're sitting $4 million in the positive. If you rework Amari Cooper's deal, now you have the ability to go out and you have the ability to sign a quality starter in addition to your draft class. So what would this quality starter, where would we want it to be? All right, as we go through your roster, you're good at quarterback, you're set. I mean, like, whether you like it or not, you're set. All right, running back, you still have Ford. All right, you can draft somebody easily in later in the draft. Don't even worry about that much. All right, tight end, Njoku, you're set. Offensive line, you just need to get healthy. You're set. All right, let's go to the defense. We all know the defense is good. All right, we know you're going to have to mess around with Zadarius Smith and bring him back and all that kind of stuff. It's like you might be able to work a contract in your favor in that one, though, bringing him back if you want to. All right, or you wait. I understand that, too, and try and see what you can get out of Okoronkwo. But those are the positions, to me, it goes down to who's playing opposite Myles Garrett and who's playing opposite of Elijah Moore. And if the biggest, not Elijah Moore, why did I say that? Who's playing opposite of Amari Cooper? All right. And if your biggest two issues on your team are who are playing opposite the starters that are really good, you have a good problem as a team. All right. So where do you want to spend that money as a starter? That's the question I want to ask you. Do you want to go spend money on the defensive line? Or would you like to go spend money on a second wide receiver? All right, just keep in mind. All right, just keep in mind for a second. This defense was good and will continue to be good. All right, whether or not they have Zadarius Smith, they'll still be good. They'll be able to find pressure from other areas. And there are some pass rush specialists that I think you can look to. There's a significant drop at wide receiver after Amari Cooper. There just is. With Elijah Moore, do you think Tillman could become your number 2 guy? Right? And then you let Moore continue to work the slot, and you feel like you're good. I mean, overall, this is a team that actually has a lot of talent. It just has a lot of talent, and now they're getting out of salary cap purgatory this year. And next year, it should be even better as long as they don't keep throwing money down the line. I don't want to see the Browns become the Saints. The Saints have it was $83 million. Now it's $68 million in the hole. Like, oh my goodness, what are they doing? All right, that's too much. So don't become that, but all of a sudden you have freedom. All right, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.